Kung halimbawa, totoong ginawa ni Vice President Sara Duterte, yung mga inaakusa sa kanya, pero nag-declare siya na hindi tatakbong presidente, palagay mo kaya i-impeach siya?
Hindi. Hindi siya i-impeach kung nag-declare siya hindi siya tatakbong presidente. Kasi kung ma-impeach kasi siya, boss, ang mangyayari kasi wala na tayong vice president. So, what would operate now? The Constitution. Alam mo ang mangyayari? The president may now choose any of the senators,
Including Martin Romualdez.
Including Martin Romualdez. Oo. Senate, voting separately, majority vote lang. And Congress, voting separately, majority vote na. O, Vice President na si, Romualdez. O, yun yung kanilang,
Sino kaya yung mga maaaring pumalit kay Speaker Martin kung totoo nga na mapapalitan siya?
Well, in my opinion, kung papalitan siya because siguro siya ang magiging Vice President. If Sara will be impeached.
Have it used against the program or us,
Yes,
the two of
I
us
agree.
here. But yeah, based on what we've heard, 150 million per signature of the congressman.
Lehitimong mula sa mga retiradong miyembro ng Philippine National Police Academy, tagapagkalinga class of 1991, ang kumalat na dokumento ng suporta kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ito'y may kaugnayan sa kinakaharap na impeachment complaint ng pangalawang Pangulo ng Bansa. Ayon kay PNP spokesperson at Police Regional Office 3 Director, Police Brigadier General Jean Fajardo, mayroon siyang mga nakausap na miyembro ng Class 1991 ukol dito. Gayunman sinabi ng general na wala namang kinalaman at hindi umano kasama sa mga ito ang natitirang 3 aktibong opisyal ng PNP mula sa Class 1991.
It was the stand of their class at grupo, but yung 3 active po, they will remain political and non-partisan at hindi po nila saklaw yung kaisipan ng ibang miyembro po ng klase po nila.
Yung nga sinasabi natin, no, there's always somebody who will stand para dyan sa mga mapang-api, no? Yan sa mga abusadong tao. Yan, shout out po dyan sa PNPA Class 91, mabuhay po kayo. Yan po ay nagpapatunay na ang mga tao po ay hindi po papayag na maalis nyo yan si VP Sara. At kita-kita din natin ang plano nito Tambalos-Los, na ambisyoso talaga, no? Parang siya talagang gusto maging vice presidente. Uy, grabe, dahan-dahan lang po, Tambi. Alright, welcome back to my channel guys, and today silipin na naman natin itong usapin sa impeachment. Ma'am MALOU, tiquia, yan, paborito nating political analyst to magaling kasi itong mag-explain. No, dito rin malalaman natin kung ano ba talaga mag-impeachment, mag-election, no, at ano ang mga nagiging impact nito sa both parties na nagsisimula na ngayon ng kanilang mga pangampanya. Oo, narinig na yung pangampanya nila kanina ni Bangag. Ang yabang na ni Bangag. Oo, di ba? Ibang klase na yung mga salita na yun. Parang palaban na ito si Bangag ngayon, Ay, nako. Pero meron ding balita kasi dito, Bangag. Yung kapatid mo, nalaglag na sa survey. At saka itong si Tolentino, nalaglag na mga guys. Yan. Ramdam nyo na ang pesan ni VP Sara. Yan. Paramdam natin sa kanila mga guys, mga ugok pala ng mga tao na to. Akala nila, ganyan na kayo kalakas Ngayon, talagang natataranta na yung mga congressman na bumoto dyan sa impeachment. Uy, huwag nyong iboto yan. Ang dami na pong congressman na umamin. 150 million nga daw. Ayuda. May mga congressman din, makikita talaga natin na parang binenta nila si VP Sara para lang sa kanilang ayuda. Grabe. Ang kapal na mukha, no? And before that, dito muna tayo kay Ma'am MALOU tiquia. Makinig tayo mga guys. Panoorin natin si Ma'am MALOU.
Watching this political drama, we know that the executive pretty much has the driver's wheel in terms of controlling events, especially for a majority-dominated House. So, does the President ostensibly have his fingerprints on this impeachment? Probably not.
From this point on, he will just be a very interested observer.
maybe a little self-deprecation on the
I don't think
president's
that's
part.
true. I mean, if you look at the GAA, certainly he was involved in it.
Shots fired again.
Right? So, again, I don't see it
Cannonballs
to
are
be
flying this
such.
way.
But we're left in an awkward situation.
They meaning?
Everybody's left in an awkward situation, whether or not to do the special session in the Senate, whether this will be tackled during that special session, or if this will be tackled right after the midterm
So
elections.
it tells you what's wrong with this administration. There is no plan. They plan politically.
But then he said it
in
was
the
a
long
plan.
term, yes, there's a plan, politically, transactional, but in the long term, there's none. They are subjected to the whims and the caprices of so many players. Very important to see that we are going into elections, to campaign period, and when you file an impeachment, that kind of makes the ground very difficult to read. You are administration, you control the levers of power,
Right.
and yet you throw this impeachment there. So it gravitates certain voter segments to really define their position. One of which are the Dutertes. I think it's very clear that the impeachment is a way to kneecap the Dutertes, whether for 2028, which is beyond, or between the years 2025 to 28. My problem there is the reading of this administration in terms of lame duck. I think this administration went on lame duck in a very, very early period when they did the PhilHealth, when they did the budget, when they did the impeachment. Those are cards thrown on the table that would, suddenly have a different impact, which they failed to measure. So when you go to the ground, people are angry. There is protest vote in terms of the PhilHealth and the GAA. Remember, it will be subject to the Supreme Court oral hearings. So this will add up to the percolation that is happening. And I think that misinformed, misreading of the situation would be to the advantage of the opposition. The problem with the opposition, PDP has not claimed to be the opposition.
Yes.
That is a big problem.
Well, just to take a contrarian point of view, one could also argue that there is great one-upmanship happening also to precisely sway attention away from
All of
the
those,
GAA
right?
and the PhilHealth. Suddenly they throw this
Because some would
impeachment
say
wrench,
some would
last
say
minute.
that it might have been the reason why this was pursued
Right,
because of the issues over the budget.
Correct. I mean, the pillars of communication don't change. There's only avert, attack, and applaud. You're attacking, you're applauding your candidate, and you're averting issues away from.
What is your sense
sensitivities.
over the Senate? Over the weekend, several senators made different statements. Like, for
Right.
example, Cheese Escudero says there is no rush, no need to rush this. This will be tackled in proper time. The focus is on giving justice to the whole
Right.
situation. On the other hand, we have Senator Coco Pimentel saying that there are bills that still need to be tackled,
Sure.
and that could happen in a special session at hindi raw forthwith kung mag-aantay pa ng more than 3 months, no? Dahil ang nasa konstitusyon natin, dapat pagkapasa sa Senado, forthwith,
Forthwith,
the
agad.
Senate shall forthwith proceed.
Right.
What is your read on the Senate?
The Senate, I think, right now are really on ice, meaning to say they are standing on shaky ground. And if I were a senator, if I was a sitting senator, especially if I was running for re-election, I would want to push this under the rug as far as I could, because again, the dynamics of a Senate election are the political calculus when you're running for a Senate is that 70% of your votes will come from retail votes. The alienating the Duterte votes, the Iglesia votes. Maybe this isn't the best thing for me to be voting on right now. Maybe let me run away from this as far as I can and try to remain as vanilla and as Switzerland as possible.
Somehow, to change things on the ground, if things were not in your favor as a re-electionist.
It's going to be very hard to have an impeachment during the campaign. That's one. Why? Because impeachment is very political. And to a certain degree, you will right away be graded or evaluated by voters based on what you do during the impeachment. And you're talking of 12, 7 of which are running for re-election and 5 are retiring.
Correct.
So those things need to be factored in. My sense, the pressure is on the Senate, but I'm thankful that Senate President Escudero rose up to the challenge and really said, you know, if you call a special session refers to bills, not to impeachment. And forthwith in the Constitution, did not take into consideration that it was going to be an adjournment. An adjournment in legislation means everything stops unless the chamber authorizes the committees to continue with their work. But that does not cover impeachment. That does not cover plenary. Yun yung hindi naiintindihan ng mga tao. Ang plenary is where decisions are made. Plenary would mean all of them present.
They need a session to convene themselves as an impeachment court.
Well, that's one. And that is plenary. Second is the adoption of rules, which is plenary. Because the Senate, I don't think they have updated the rules on impeachment. And then third, an agreement on the calendar on when the impeachment court will meet. So I was so I was so surprised that the House immediately named their prosecutors without waiting for the Senate to convene as a court. The tradition has been let the Senate convene, and from that time, they send a transmittal to the House saying, we have transmitted and please name your prosecutors. Dito talagang plinansye. So magugulat ka, anong agenda? Ang agenda ba to make it a political issue, which is a wrong reading?
With your indulgence, Gretchen, I hope you don't mind. I'm curious though, why are the pro-Duterte supporters, why do they seem to be supporting a prolonged or a delayed Senate trial, when in fact, would you say that it would benefit the administration if the new senators can?
I do not even agree that the new Senate, the 20th Senate
can,
has, yes.
even continue.
Because
there's no
that's
continuation.
a new
yes.
constitution already.
And non-legislative, right?
Yes. So the problem there, tactically, the 1-year ban.
Yes, in Congress.
In Congress.
In Congress. There's a 1-year ban in Congress. But the
Congress.
Senate actually...
But you cannot start another one.
Well, Justice Carpio, at least for his... he believes that the 20th can't...
Crossover.
Yeah, pinipilit mo naman yan si Justice Carpio. Dilawan yan eh. Dati naman yan talaga yung naninira sa mga Duterte. Gusto talaga nila magpatuloy. Kaya meron silang mga rason, di ba? Itong mga senador sa eleksyon, ditong eleksyon na to, talagang mag-a-avoid sila sa issue ng impeachment na yan. No? Talagang magpapalayo sila kasi siyempre naman may impact talaga yan. Hindi pumasok sa survey. Si Amy, si ate ng bayan. Paano yan? At saka itong si pambansang balimbing. Yan. Sana malaglag din kayo lahat dyan. Yung mga tao ni Bongbong, wala na mga kwento. Ang yabang. Wala ka sa lugar magyayabang. Kung ano-ano binabato mo kay Tatay Digong, ngayon ko pa ngayon nagkasalita patungkol dyan sa mga pandemic. Mas grabe daw ang corruption mga guys, nung panahon daw ni Tatay Digong kaysa dito kay Bangag. Ay, alright mga guys, as usual, no? Mabuhay kayong lahat. Thank you for watching.